Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm glad you're here.
Thank you very much.
How was your new year?
It is wonderful so far. I've been on an extended vacation.
Overly celebrate or have family over?
Well, we did have extra movie night and cookies. Cookies.
Okay, how many times have we done the Storybook Santa experience?
About 300 times.
Did you ever do the mall, sit and stand in line, Santa?
Not like you would think of them all. Mrs. Claus and I have done the Waxahachie Parade and tree lighting, which has an event where you can come get pictures with Santa. And that's probably the closest I've ever gotten to a mall Santa. Events like parades, the mall Santa, almost every event out there is get through fast. You may have 30 seconds in the mall to a minute and a half at some more relaxed events, but it's all very fast. Even if it's a party at a home visit, they generally have more children than you can spend just a couple of minutes with.
What was your experience with spending more time with kids rather than 30-second dinner?
Those events were at a play venue, and they were an hour and a half long. There's a point when you interact with a child and you can see them relax and the magic and the joy begin. And that's where it's really cool.
So that takes more than 30 seconds?
It takes more than 30 seconds. Sometimes it takes 30 minutes.
One of the things that we most enjoyed about working with you was that it seems that you're immersed in Santa for more than just the day that you're here. Can you talk about that?
Yes. What's really interesting is I'm actually very much an introvert and a recluse. The last thing Mrs. Claus would think I would want to go do was spend time with families and children.
And tell us who Mrs. Claus is.
Mrs. Claus is my wife. You wanna give me?
I can hear you.
Mrs. Claus. We are married over 41 years at this point, and that's some of the magic in what happens in this environment is because the natural psychic connection, if you will, occurs, and we're reading each other and how to support one another where that's not possible if it's not somebody that you don't know extremely well. When I started Santa, I had a vision in mind, and that was I wanted to remake Christmas, because as a child, Christmas was not a pleasant experience for us. And it often ended in arguments and tears. And in 2011, I decided that I wanted to remake Christmas. Everything I do with all my attributes, everything that I have to offer. It's not 100%, it's total. So when I started to be Santa, I wanted clothes that were becoming of a real Santa. What would Santa really wear every day? And I went out and I looked. There's a whole industry for Santa clothing, and it is all costume clothing. And I wanted clothing as a tailor would make it. So I learned to sew, and I learned to tailor, and I learned to design patterns, and I make all of the clothing for Santa and for Mrs. Claus with all the proper structure and detail that is required in a finely tailored garment.
How do you use this experience to fuel you year-round?
Well, I'm a maker of things naturally. I'm a musical instrument maker. And so I really do have a workshop in my backyard where Santa works year-round. And I create and design all the time. I do a lot of it in my sleep. I'll wake up and I'll have an idea for a piece of clothing or a prop that you may want to consider in the workshop. And then I'm able to go out and design all the pieces necessary to make that prop or that piece of clothing. Everyone who portrays Santa has a list of what they want to accomplish in their career. And sometimes those are parades in your hometown or to work for your hometown. It might be a professional sports team. It could be a certain mall. It could be anything you can imagine, but every Santa has a list. When I learned about the Storybook Santa experience, I knew from the very beginning that that's what I wanted to do. I have a colleague in North Carolina that I followed his career in that type of program, and I knew from the very beginning that was my goal. I need every person that I interact with as Santa to leave feeling that Santa is real and Santa truly loves them. And this gives me the opportunity to do that.
Okay, well, let's have Mrs. Claus come in and you can lead him into his, because you know him as a person better than anybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me.
So you want to talk about his love of art?
Well, yeah. I think another point about why you love working at Ivey, and I do too, is it's art at work. We have artists doing the photography, and they've spent a long time to learn and to develop the sets. And when we see the results, we feel really happy and excited to be part of that.
That's something that I enjoy showing pictures when they say, you know, you look a lot like Santa Claus. And I say, well, there's a reason for that. And I'll get out and I'll show them some pictures. But if we have an opportunity to show them a picture that you produce that's on the set, their first question is always, after their oohs and ahs, is that a backdrop? And I get to open up the picture and say, no, everything in here is real.
I know there's a place for the crying kid on Santa's lap, but I feel like the people who come to Ivey are looking for a happy experience for their kids, not a trauma that's going to take counseling to get them over it. And so if a child is a little reluctant, then, and especially if Santa is scary to them, then I can be at least a female. Some of the babies will go for me before they will for Santa while they're getting used to it. Get down on the floor, play with them, or hand them a toy. I have a little puppet I can bring out, or a book. I get to often have the privilege of meeting the families before Santa does, and just helping them to understand what's going to happen in their session. Really like to do that.
The Storybook Santa experience is the top of my goal. And what's exciting is this expands every year. And I love a program that doesn't stand still. Storybook Santa experience has been different every year with new creativity, new sets, new opportunity. I really love that.
I'm going to hold on to Mom's leg and I'm not going to let go. How do you still maintain Santa composure? And what is your role in that?
Well, you know, that's an interesting question, and it is a challenge for Santas in general. And the answer is, this event is not about me. This event is about that child. It's about that child leaving and feeling as loved and comfortable as possible.
All right, Mrs. C, let's have you out. We'll get a final couple of things with Santa. Tell me something I don't know about you.
Oh, something that you may not realize, even though we've worked many years together at this point, is when I work with Mrs. Claus, I'm able to be a different, more real, in-depth person, because as that introvert and recluse, when we work together, I feel more content and peaceful, and I'm able to transfer that to the people that we work with in the studio. I really have to get back to the North Pole.
I'm sure you do.
We've got toys to make, plans, and I have some new clothing for Ivy for next year.